Hello, welcome to Real Frank Football. Thanks for checking it out. In this episode, we're going to break down Week 8 of the college football season. Can you believe it? We're already at Week 8. There were some upsets that are affecting the poll rankings this week. And Nick Saban was worried about the safety of his players, his big, strong players. We'll get into that next.
Real Frank.
All right, let's get right into Week 8. Let's start off with Mississippi State versus Alabama. Alabama had no trouble with Mississippi State. They even had a shutout going into the very last seconds of the game. Mississippi State scored a touchdown with no time remaining. And there was a pass interference called in the end zone by Alabama. The DB was impeding the receiver's ability to catch. He had his hand around the side, spun him a little bit. So they called pass interference. Nicky Boy was a little upset about it, as you can see here. He is losing his mind on the field there. Look at that. Oh, my God. Fucking asses. That's what he says there. Look at that. Dude.
Stop whining.
I mean, they scored in the last second to get 6 points. They didn't even get to kick the extra point to make it 7, and he's losing his mind there. I mean, he's going to have an aneurysm. I mean, that's crazy. But the thing that's most disgusting about this whole thing is number 3, Jermaine Burton, the wide receiver for Alabama, who last week, Tennessee upset Alabama. The students rushed the field. And there's a video of Jermaine Burton striking. Can't tell how vicious the hit is. I'll say that first of all. But video evidence that he did strike someone, a female, while trying to get off the field. Now, the response that Saban gave is the most ridiculous response I've ever heard. And he basically was playing their star receiver, number 3, because he knows if they lose again, they're out of the playoff picture. All right? They'll lose and they won't get into the playoffs. And you know he's all about championships, right? So he made a
business decision.
He made a business decision to start the receiver rather than suspend him for a game or even a half. Suspend him for a half, Nick, right? The media is all up and roaring about this thing. Yeah, it's not looking good. Suspend him for a half, right? But you made a
business decision.
Because you need another ring. You want that ring. But let's listen to this disgusting crock of shit that he's going to spew to the media.
The decision that I heard.
Look, I don't know how many of you have ever been in a situation like that.
Situation what? You're Alabama. You're used to these situations, right? When people beat you, they rush the field. This is nothing new for you. You've been a head coach for how long? This happens. This happens maybe at least once a year on average, all right? So I don't understand. I'm sure there's a big talk about how to handle these situations. The players are protected. The coaches are protected. They have pads and helmets on. Nick Saban's got his own little police crew. So to insinuate that this is a unique situation, it's not. It happens all the time. It happens throughout the weekend. You would see it on highlights of fans rushing the field, which we'll see more in a little bit here.
But I talked to him. He was scared. I was scared. Some of our
Jermaine was scared. Saban was scared. I mean, they were scared. He was scared of this, 120-pound little girl crossing in front of him, so he had to smack her. Saban was scared. He's got a security detail around him at all times. That is. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, hello. I mean, that's pathetic. I mean, if I was the media right there, I've been calling his ass out. You were scared? This 250, 300-pound men out there are scared? Stop it. Stop it. It's fucking pathetic.
other players were scared. I think you learn to respect other people because we have a responsibility to do that.
Oh, respect other people. It looks like Jermaine's here respecting that girl. I respect you. I mean, the shit he's spewing right now is disgusting. He's basically conveying, hey, I'm the smartest one in this fucking room, all right? Okay, I'm fucking Nick Saban. You don't understand, You're below me. You don't understand, all right? I understand you made a
Business decision.
about championships because that's all the fuck you care about. All you had to do was suspend the kid for a quarter, maybe a half, all right? Fine. Because it didn't look vicious in the video. But you had to do something, all right? And then to spiel this bullshit, you look even more dumber, okay? You have way experience. You have a security detail. And to say these football players in pads and helmets walking off the field to these fans in t-shirts and shorts, they're afraid, forget about it. They run off the field. It's the most ludicrous response to a legitimate question by the media I've ever heard. And the media should have pushed it a little further. But they won't because he's Nick fucking Saban.
For the circumstance that we're in. And, I talked to the guy. We have him in a counseling program. It's not an anger management program, as people want.
They have a counseling program, but let's be clear, it's not anger management.
You son of a bitch.
Makes no fucking sense. It's not anger management, because if he said anger management, then his player would come across as disgruntled and having anger issues. It's about respecting people, right? Because it's much nicer and neater. We respect people. We have no anger issues here. None. Even though he went whack to the girl. No anger there. He was scared. That's why he did it. He was terrified. That's why he went tink. When I'm scared, I go tink. Looks like he ran off too after he did it. No anger issues here, right? Clear on that. Getting some help. Not anger issues.
Announced today. Nobody ever said that. That's not the problem. That's not the issue. But it's about having the proper respect for other people.
Proper respect for other people. He's not respecting that fucking room of media people, filling them with all this bullshit, shoveling this fucking manure up their faces. Respecting. I love it. Respect. Just like he respected that girl.
And, I didn't think it was necessary to suspend the guy. So.
Why was it not necessary?
Business decision.
I need another fucking championship. I can't risk a loss. That's what he's saying there. That's translation there. I'm translating coach lingo for you. It's one of my specialties.
If you knew the whole story, maybe you wouldn't either. But I'm not going to divulge that.
What's the story, Nick? What's the story? Divulge? Because we can put together our own story here. He was pissed because he lost. The girl was waiting. He struck her. That's how we see it. Why don't you divulge that? Because there's nothing to divulge here. The guy made a poor decision. It's not life-changing, all right? Punish him a little bit. Didn't look vicious. But to play it up as nonchalantly and then playing him is fucking ridiculous. And you look like an ass. But because you're Nick fucking Saban with all these championships and NCAA GOG, nothing's going to be called on you. Fucking weird world we live in, isn't it? If you're winning, you're a god. You're untouchable. But if you're not winning, boy, will they come after you. It's amazing, isn't it? It's really a sick world we are in. Let's continue. Jermaine Burton is playing for Bama tonight. Am I the only one that thinks this is insane? At best, he shoved a female fan last week. At worst, he punched her. I don't care if she was on the field or not. This is embarrassing for Nick Saban. Why is no one else talking about this? Agreed. Nick Saban says Alabama player Jermaine Burton was scared when he hit a defenseless female Tennessee fan. Jermaine Burton is 6 foot, 200-pound male athlete in prime physical condition. Indefensible. Agree. So, SEC, you play Alabama, you need to recruit some girls, throw them on there, throw them on the line there, offensive line, defensive line, and they'll shrivel up. They're defenseless. They don't know how to handle it. They fear little girls. They fear them. They don't know how to defend them. Remember that? They're afraid. They're afraid of these big guys. So get some women on your team. And this will turn you into Alabama beaters. That's all it needs to beat Alabama. Some female athletes on your roster. Beyond Saban making excuses for his players striking women, I can't help but notice he's also saying his players are scared of tiny girls. Yes, that's the thing. And here's one of my favorite. Oh boy, Mr. Joe Namath was back, and look what's going on there now. He found a sideline reporter there for ESPN, and he was putting his moves on. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God! Look at that. I think he goes looking for this. I don't know. And look at, he's getting fresh. Look at putting the arm around her. Woo wee, woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Woo, Joe Namath. Joey putting the moves on. He's got to be like, what, his 80s, right? But do you remember, I think 2003, 2002, when he tried to kiss Susie Colbert? Oh, he tried putting the moves on her, and he got busted. He said he wanted to kiss her. Remember, he supposedly was drunk, and then he was getting help for AA. Let's see how all those treatments went. Let's see if they all helped him. Oh, looks like that all worked out. Oh, my God. Can you imagine having those old wrinkly lips on your head like that, and you got to pretend it's cool because there's a cameraman in front of you? Oh, and it's Joe Namath. Oh, that's awful. That is awful. So Syracuse and Clemson. So this was a nail biter game. It came down to the end. Syracuse had the ball at the end, and they threw a pick to end the game. But there was some controversy in this game. A lot of the Syracuse fans feel they got ripped off. There was a play in the game with Clemson quarterback scramble. It was like a 3rd and 25. He scrambled and he was hit late out of bounds. It was a legitimate late hit, but it changed the whole movement of the game. It took all the momentum away from Syracuse and gave it to Clemson. They got the call. Ironically, the Syracuse QB was scrambling, and he ran out of bounds and was hit out of bounds, but did not get the same call. And he was hit out of bounds, but for some reasons the refs did not call it, so the Syracuse fans were not having it. Here we go. Dabo congratulating his star player from today. Here's my personal favorite. Brief summary of Syracuse games so far. AC refs protecting Clemson from Syracuse. Oh, I'm sorry. Look at Clemson puts an end to Syracuse's undefeated run season. The orange is mad. It's a mad orange. It's a little mad orange. Clemson storming the field for that game? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty weird. Why was Clemson storming? I mean, Clemson is used to winning, except for, they had an off year last year, but kind of still in it this year, and they're storming the field after that game. That's very strange behavior. And Clemson, after needing 2 5-star QBs and the refs to beat Syracuse, right? So their starter was a 5-star recruit. He got benched, and they brought in their freshman 5-star recruit who ended up finishing the game. So that's why that's pretty funny. And this was pretty interesting too. Jaden Nixon and Mason Cobb taking selfies with students after the game. I mean, if I was a football player, I would totally do this too. Look at this video here. This is after the game, and they got cameras. And they're taking selfies, man. I love this. This is so smart. Look at that. I would be eating that up too. It's brilliant. Why not? Heck yeah, look at that. Live in the moment. I'll take a selfie with you. Look at that. Heck yeah. Smart guys. UCLA and Oregon. What a game this was. Man, Oregon all of a sudden is looking good. They got their asses handed to them against Georgia the first game, but Bo Nix, what are they putting in his food down there, man? He is an animal now. He looks like a different quarterback. His throws are accurate. I mean, he's throwing a beautiful deep ball. I mean, this is amazing. I thought this would end at some point, like it was a fluke, appears not to be. He's found his groove, and it's pretty spectacular. He's carrying Oregon right now. They are on top of their game. They did have special breast cancer jerseys. These Oregon uniforms is like kind of some random offshoot Mountain Dew flavor, like Grapefruit Lightning Storm or some shit. It kind of does, right? It looks like the Mountain Dew, and they got some funky flavor on the label, and they got some pink stuff on there. That was a pretty good description of that. Mississippi versus LSU. Oh, yeah, we got Lean. And he was gonna, remember last week he was interviewing for the Auburn job, apparently, right? So here we go. 45-20, man. LSU bombarded them. That was quite a big shocker there. Welcome to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Lane Train is currently disembarking fans. Woo-wee, the Lane Train. The students, this is the thing that I'm most shocked about. The students rushed the field following LSU's win over number 7 Ole Miss. I mean, LSU, another winning program. Why are they rushing the field? I mean, I'm a little shocked by that. Not a big enough moment for goalposts to get touched, but they stayed on the field with the team to sing the alma mater. But they kept the goalposts because they didn't want to get that fine, the other part of the fine. They get the fine for rushing the field, but they didn't want to pay the big fine for replacing those goalposts like Tennessee did, but they created a GoFundMe page. Maybe Peyton picked it up. We haven't heard back yet. Texas versus Oklahoma State. This looked like Texas was going to blow Oklahoma State out in the first half, and boy, did things change quickly. And Oklahoma State came back and won this game. And now Texas has been eliminated from playoff contention. Thank you. No one wants to see a 2-3 loss team in the playoffs. We don't need that drama. West Virginia versus Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech handily destroyed West Virginia. But you may ask, Frank, why are you showing this score? Well, because of this. I purposely believe that every camera crew that goes down to Texas Tech, look at the angle of this. I think they look forward to this. And here it is. Here we go. Score a touchdown, and look what happens. Look at that guy. Woo! Wait. You see him? You see him say, wait. I'm almost done. Wait, I'm almost done. Oh, I'm almost done. Wait. I'm almost done. The camera guys know what they're doing here, right? It's pretty obvious, but it never gets old watching this. They set him up for this every time. I mean, who would want to do that job? You know this is what's going to happen to you. You know what's going to happen every season. No denying that Texas Tech really beat West Virginia today. Hey, I can't argue that. He was beating something. Beating the meat. Oh, yeah. Texas A&M versus South Carolina. Could Jimbo get a win? No. 30-24. South Carolina beat them. Look at this footage of outside the stadium, man. It's insane, right? Look at that light show. I mean, that is so cool to see. I mean, that is wild. That is one heck of a camera shot of the stadium. And they were rocking during that game. First win over Texas A&M in program history. Heck yeah, man. Bro, if I hear the word execute one more time, Jimbo Fisher's always his excuse. We need to execute. We need to execute better. Oh, you owe him $95 million. Don't forget that. Texas A&M has paid Jimbo Fisher $35 million for a total of 37 wins. Texas A&M paid Kevin Sumlin $35 million, including his buyout, for 51 wins per win. Whoa, they got stroked on that deal. When you put things in perspective like that, it's amazing. I'd like to think a number one class, a preseason top 10 ranking, and nearly $100 million salary would get a team over the hump, but I disagree. You would think, right? A reminder that included with Jimbo Fisher's $80 million buyout, most coaches have a clause that the buyout is reduced by the salary amount of your next job. Jimbo's does not. Full payout on everything that is owed.
Money talk.
Man, are they going to hurt if they fire him? They can't fire him right now, right? You think they're going to fire him? I don't know if they can fire him. That's a lot of money. Texas has a lot of money, though. I don't know. You think they're going to fire him? Duke versus Miami. Now, Frank, why are you showing this, you may ask? Because of this stuff. A bottle of water costs more than a Miami Hurricane football ticket. Holy crap. Came to check out the stadium before the big game throw. Turns out there's a Miami versus Duke game here. Got $3 tickets. $3 for a Division I college football game. Miami, might add. Crazy. And then it cost more for a bottle of water than he had to pay for the ticket. How? I mean, Mario was supposed to be the golden child coming home. He was coming home. I'm coming home. He was going to fix it. Whew. And then they stole Josh Gaddis from Michigan. He was the offensive coordinator of the year. And oh my goodness, has their offense looked like garbage. Now, Washington versus California. This was a close game, but the wild thing was, what is Washington worried about here? Look at this play. The sidelines. They're hiding, like, what is this, top secret Mission Impossible stuff? They are like, I think the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator is over there calling the plays, and they don't want no one to see what's calling them. I mean, those are some pretty big towels or wall they've created there for obstructing the view. I don't know if they're worried about scouting or something, but that's pretty wild. And then look how empty the stadium is in California, the Cal Bears. I mean, it looks just as bad as Miami. That is pathetic. But guess who was there? Marshawn Lynch was there. Heck yeah. An alumni. He's giving an interview for ESPN. I mean, this has got to be good, right? He's going to be repping. Let's hear how this interview goes.
I'm from the Bay Area, but when I look around the stands and I see that these motherfuckers,
Oops. What'd you say, Marshawn?
motherfuckers,
Oops. On live air TV?
these motherfuckers,
Oop. You tell me ESPN doesn't have a dump button to beep that out? I mean, come on. But let's continue. I'm sure now he remembers he's on TV, so that won't happen again in the rest of this interview. Let's listen to it.
I mean, these stands, how they were when we were here, that shit kind of got me.
What? What do you say? That shit?
That shit kind of got me. Kind of got me. On tip, that shit kind of got
That
me.
shit got him too, man. Wow. Who is the dumb person here? The dumb person didn't get that at all. They kind of let that slide, didn't they? Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. What a week 8. We had everything in here. Oh, man. I can't wait for week 9. Can you believe next week is week 9? I hope you check out my week 9 episode. Until next week, thanks for watching.